it was all-encompassing. It was an all-encompassing 2-day saga where I was not going to get out of it without a working printer. Welcome in the Cafe Nightly Show. I'm your host, The Goldsmith. It is the 25th of June, 2024. And you know what? We are in the middle of that well-forecast, well-discussed, well-promoted maintenance period, and that is a couple days here as we get Sparklet figured out. We do already see a couple things on the Sparklet transition, and we do want to go over those and take a look at those as they happen today, and also look at some updates to tell us what to expect over the next couple days. Again, I don't expect tomorrow to be a day filled of amazing announcements because the team is working pretty hard on making sure that this happens and happens correctly. There were some short periods of times where the Sparklet conversion was high scoring. Good to see you. There was a small period of time where there was some Sparklet conversions that seemed to be way out of whack, and all of a sudden people's Sparklet balances went way up and they went way down. As mentioned, or as discussed, or as suggested, over a short period of time, over the 2 days, if you see your Sparklet balance look crazy, it might just be crazy. It might just be an error. It might just be temporary. And it probably is not something to get too upset about. Again, wait till the end of the 2-day transition period. And that's when we're going to be able to, have some finality, know this is taken care of. And then secondly, have the correct information, because it does take a couple days to get there. And obviously, we're at the point where I think there's been a couple corrections already for the people who've gotten incorrect balances. There's been some updates already. So it is at a point, I would say, we're at a point where I'm pretty happy with my Sparklet amount. I think it's the correct amount. I don't think it's going to change. I think it's done. But some of the effects of making sure Sparklet staking is working properly and the amounts being requested are working properly, and you can properly stake and unstake your Sparklet, that's still happening. And because it's still happening, we're still in a period where you can't stake and unstake Spark. We'll get into that, what that means as far as constructions and as far as going ahead and continuing to build your assets. This is kind of a planned in maintenance and freeze period where we're going to start back over in a couple of days. And because of that, there's been a couple contests or a couple ongoing events that have been suspended or have been extended in a period of time that they'll be open, which is nice. And it is also nice to note that when we do have things start back up, it's going to be minimal interaction for people who had left things in process before the Spark transition. Again, Upwind said you don't have to unstake your Spark before we go into the Sparklet transition. You don't have to make any major changes. Anything that you have staked will go back into staking at the end of the transition period, and you will otherwise not be penalized for leaving it staked. Again, there's a period of time when we may not have proper staking, calculated. That's a 2-day freeze or 2-day hole in functionality over the course of years in order to bring about a transition, which is much necessary and is a part of the immediate future. So we'll get into that. Also, today we did have a little update. We'll get back to it. A little tiny update on the side of the weekly reveal. We do have this cosmetic reveal every single week. It gets dropped in. We get a chance to look at it. People could complain that it's not their thing, and other people are excited because it is their thing. And ultimately, if you signed up for the ride, if you paid the dollars and cents, the $6.99 for a month of these cosmetic drops, the cosmetic drops are yours for now and then yours for later. They are non-transferable, but you could use them to decorate your in-game display. In some cases, you can update your cards and have it display on your property cards. And ultimately, it is there to change the way you see the game of Upwind. And in a way, in many cases, it changes the way other people see the game of Upwind or see you as well in the game of Upwind based on what you have for cosmetic displays. And we'll look at today's cosmetic displays. And then I will touch on one more thing, and that is that I'm playing around with this idea of when to drop it, how to do it. If tomorrow is a very light day, tomorrow will be the day. Tomorrow, so long as we don't end up with any surprise announcements from Upwind tomorrow, as long as Upwind doesn't implode with the Sparklet, which I don't expect it to. I think everything's going to be smooth. But does not implode with Sparklet. Tomorrow, we're requiring a big discussion of all things that went on and what to do. And don't panic and don't burn down the game, the infrastructure. Hi, Swarley. Good to see you. You don't burn the infrastructure of the game because we're a little bit worried about the Sparklet transition. I don't think that's going to happen. But so long as it doesn't, we'll be having the interview. I'll be playing the interview tomorrow live. It's been pre-recorded. I'm going to be there. We're going to do it all together. Be in the comments. Have people be able to make comments, ask questions based on a recorded interview, which is kind of fun because I was there and maybe I know one thing or two. And of course, we can get the right answers for those who have the questions during the interview, which is going to be fun. Even though, like I said, it's pre-recorded, we're not going to have the guest Math be able to answer any of the questions. Other things that can obviously be reviewed. And of course, if I've got answers or people have answers, we can discuss and have them throughout. That is Math from the Block Raiders project, and talking a little bit more about the front end development in Unreal and what that's looked like both for the game and what's actually been developed, and also his journey with Block Raiders, knowing that he did come in after Block Raiders won the Hackathon 2023. And there's some interesting things for looking forward, as well as current status call on Block Raiders. And it was kind of a fun conversation. Looking forward to being able to do that tomorrow as a big focus on my show, if, again, no surprises on the news front. But for tonight, let's get into the pieces we have. Of course, all views and opinions expressed by myself, they're mine and mine alone. Should everything is game strategy or financial advice, they don't represent the game of the team of Upland. Any guests or contributors who we do have on have their own views and opinions, and they're welcome to them. They should not be taken as game strategy or financial advice. They represent myself, the Goldsmith, the Cafe Nightly Show, or the team or the game of Upland. Easy enough. Let's go take a look at the actual announcement. Again, the way this was announced today to go over the transition of Sparklet was some great updates. We kind of told ahead what to expect, and there were some slight alterations, modifications there, but there was also along the lines, as you go to review it, there were along the lines of just slight alterations that we didn't expect, but then right next to it, the things we already knew. But if you hadn't looked before, if you hadn't really read closely, it's nice that it's out there in a really clean way. And we're going to take a look at that together. And a couple things, couple comments, couple side notes of as we go through the Sparklet transition. Again, I've had a couple days over the preview and know it's coming and know it's gonna be something that is setting up Sparklet in the future. I had a couple days worth of expounding on my excitement about having this happen, but we can touch on those things as well. Again, update on the Sparklet transition to Spark transition to Sparklet. All Spark values are converted to Sparklet. Again, this has already happened. 1 Spark now equals 1,000 Sparklet. Currently, Spark hours will be represented in Spark, though construction price, manufacturing price. So currently, Spark is continuing to be represented. Instead of saying 5,200,000 Spark, it says 5,300 Spark. I'm sorry. Instead of saying 5,200,000 Sparklet. So that is okay as of right now. We'll get into and see that over the next couple of days as we are able to unstake and restake, that there's a difference between the currency that's in our account. Again, your account is measuring a wallet value. Your wallet value is what you actually hold for Sparklet token. Again, it will be exchangeable token, but right now just Sparklet token in the game of Upland. And that balance again is going to represent that 1,000th of a Spark value. That's why you see you have a lot more in there. I'll take a look at my Sparklet balance in a little bit, but you'll see they have a much higher balance than you did 2 days ago. That's because each of those Sparklet is worth 1,000th of a Spark, and it should be correct. The math should be correct. It looks like it is for everybody that I've heard about. And if you have any issues, you can always reach out to the team with a caveat. It's worth giving them another day to get some of those titrations all taken care of. Things are still being converted, and it looks like the conversion may be complete though. So it may be worth sending that bug report if you're continuing to have those issues. Sparklet mechanics are still disabled. What that means is you cannot go and stake Sparklet or unstake Sparklet. You cannot go and use it to construct your map assets. You can't use it to construct your structural ornaments. That's closed off at this moment. All Sparklet mechanics are still disabled, including staking and receiving of Sparklet. If you earn Sparklet, don't expect it to pop up in your account. Daily check-in will pop up again Wednesday, June 26th. This is key. This is key because of the Sparklet, because of all of the functions of Sparklet that were down for the day with the maintenance period. and getting things started. We didn't have Spark check-in today, so that is going to return tomorrow. And that working towards receiving Sparklet, players will resume the count they left off on before the maintenance. And the key thing here is if you missed today because the count is out because you don't have the check-in, you can't do the check-in, don't worry. Count starts back up tomorrow. It did not miss a day. Do we know about daily login? Mine is due tomorrow. Yes, Scory. Yes, Scory. So long as you logged in the day before, the pickup is going to start tomorrow. You're going to miss a day. It sounds like we missed a day. You're picking up where you left off. So if tomorrow is going to be the original collect day, likely tomorrow will just be a check-in, and the collect day will be the next day. Everyone's is going to shift a day. Is that okay? But it's okay by me. I understand what was being done with this maintenance period. You're still going to be 5 days or 6 days into your check-in process. If you were 5 or 6 days in your check-in process before, you just miss a day's worth of check-in because it's gone for a day, or the opportunity to check in anyways is gone for the day. Of course, the daily check-in, when it does pop back, everyone should expect it to be in the place they were. They shouldn't have lost progress at all. Players will not need to restake Sparklet. If it was sparked or it was staked before, that spark in the manufacturing and construction will continue to be in progress when you come back or when the functionality comes back. Users can see new Sparklet flows within the portal now. So inside the game, you can see your Sparklet flow, your travel. Sparklet bridging between EOS and ETH. Activation will be processed at a later phase and will be communicated separately. Again, expect that to be something that we are going to see down the line here, the ability to have that bridge to ETH. That bridge into ETH, again, is going to predate, or we expect it. This is my hands up. This is not financial advice. This is not game strategy advice. I can't tell you what to do with your Sparklet at this time. But we expect the ability to start bridging to come before the actual official listing. Potentially the ability to start bridging Sparklet into an Ethereum wallet. That may actually come at some point before there actually is any exchange listing, before there is any confirmation of when the exchange listing is going to happen, what exchange the listing might be, the actual interoperability, exchangeability. So keep that in mind. It's very possible. But more or less, once you can bridge into ETH, now it's no longer custodial. Obviously, it's a wrap version of Sparklet. We know that. We understand how that works. But now it's no longer custodial. You've got that Sparklet, that wrap Sparklet, and you can take that wherever you want to. So that could be sold, that could be traded, that could be moved around. So Upland's obviously not going to do that willy-nilly. Upland's going to want to make sure they have strong plans of what's happening for the exchange list and all that ahead of time. And it's possible they may make the announcement for the Sparklet actual exchange listing at or around or contemporaneous to when they have the ability to bridge out. But keep your eyes open. That is the second part of the Sparklet. But everyone having Sparklet in their account is the first part. And as a result of this transition period, we will postpone the Flash Challenge to conclude on Thursday the 27th at 9 a.m. PT. That was the login, right? So you had to log in within a 24-hour period. Well, guess what? Inside of a portion of that 24-hour period, there was no Spark login opportunity. Because of that, Upland has moved that forward. So you can still participate. 25 map assets are the prize. That's that llama map asset. You can still win it. You can still earn it. You still just have to get checked in your next check-in cycle. Because again, the last check-in cycle was interrupted. The daily dedication login streak task for gamified earnings will be extended by 1 day. That's nice. You have one more opportunity for it to accommodate for the missing day to get day. And the master builder task for the gamified earnings, again, what you had to go and build it by the 15th. Well, guess what? Instead of the 15th, you're going to add 2 more days. That's because you have less days overall during this season to do that, because it was 2 days where you could not be building. So gamified earnings will be extended by 2 days to accommodate for master builder because of the 2 days of transition. 2 days of transition was essentially a black hole. You weren't able to really do what you wanted to do with your Spark. Again, very important that we have this downtime, very important that we have this upgrade, that we have this maintenance period. This is probably one of the more important things, periods of updates that we've seen in Upland, where we've had to take a day or two off from normal functionality of the game. But it is something that really is transformative for both the game, the opportunity for use case in blockchain gaming outside of Upland, use case for some people cashing out of the game. And I haven't said it a lot because this is one of those speculation things, and I don't want to make a speculation about what people are going to do, what people can do, what they should do, what the value of Sparklet's going to be, because the value of Sparklet, I can't tell you. I can't tell you if it's going to go up or down, if it's going to be more or less than the price that Upland has been selling Spark at, divided by 1,000. Who knows what the market's going to do? And it's not my job before we actually have a listing to say what it may or may not do. But we can definitely point out that as that happens, there's going to be people who have a significant amount of Sparklet. They may have been saying things for a very long time where they say, "Oh, I can't cash out my Spark. That's the only reason why I'm still in the game. I hate Upland, blah, blah, blah." It's an opportunity for them, if they choose to do so, to sell that Sparklet, if that's what the market wants. And maybe the market, there's people out there who want to buy that Sparklet because they want to have more Sparklet to use and to stake in the game of Upland. And maybe that we have some of that Spark move from one set of hands that may or may not be happy to keep playing the game, which, again, years into playing a game, people's lives change. Maybe it's going to make sense for some of that Sparklet to move hands. And if it moves hands into the hands of people who want that Spark, who are willing to spend USD to get more of that Spark, people who are willing to potentially swap some other cryptocurrency they've been holding on to for a while for some of that Sparklet, that could make some of that Sparklet more valuable for the economy. When I say more valuable for the economy, I mean it's going to be put to work in a different way, maybe more effectively. Maybe it's going to build structures that otherwise wouldn't have been built. Maybe the person who was sitting on that Sparklet wasn't doing anything with it at all, possibly. Or maybe that person who had that Sparklet was, putting it in exchanges and to their benefit and to the benefit of the people who had it on the exchanges. Maybe it was being used to build other people's projects. Who knows? But it is an interesting concept that some of the Sparklet may be locked right now, not being used by individuals who have been sitting holding on to Spark, but not really being super active or active enough to move the stakes around between one property and another. Even if there's compensation involved, it would be a lot easier for them to just sell that Spark, or just go ahead and take that Sparklet and put it on exchange and see if they can do a swap or whatever the listing ends up being. If it's a swap listing, there's multiple pairs, or it's just a direct open on USD pair with a sale, whatever it ends up being, that is a powerful opportunity for some people to cycle out if they choose to do so, and some people who choose to stay to find an opportunity to pick up some Sparklet. One way or the other, I think it's going to rebalance the economy in an interesting way. And again, interesting is not a speculation, but I think we'll see a little bit of rebalancing when that happens. Hi, is there a Sparklet sale in Upland? Well, are there going to be Sparklet sales? Can you buy Sparklet from Upland? Absolutely. I think the answer is going to be a strong yes. Upland changing or selling how they sell Sparklet. Are we still going to have Sparklet weekends? I think the answer is yes. Upland did omit the sale of Spark this past weekend, and that was because the direct and immediate preparation for the Sparklet transition, going from Spark into Sparklet. I do think the way Upland does sales of Sparklet leading up to and immediately following the listing, that may change. I think there's enough time between now and when the listing may happen. Again, no speculation. We have been told by the team of Upland it may be happening towards the end of the summer of 2024. But if that's when the listing ends up happening, Upland may freeze sales or stop sales of Sparklet immediately before, as would be assumed if they're about to go through a listing. And then obviously immediately after the listing, they may not have Spark sales because of stabilization of the market prior to relisting at any price. So we will have to see what ends up happening there. It is definitely possible that these Sparklet sales will stop for a little while, but as of right now, what the current methodology is we have a Sparklet weekend every weekend inside the season. The Sparklet weekend is going to include potentially continuing until one doesn't continue anymore, a Sparklet sale, as well as a Sparked Up Level Up event. That's opportunity for people as they level up over the weekend to get a little more bonus than they normally would for leveling up again because they specifically did it during a sparked up weekend. And again, expect that sale to come back at least for the immediate future, if not forever. We just saw the daily login thing. Of course, that's it. Yes, we love some sparklet, King Cody. There's no question of its value and how it's going to be working here. So, of course, the key things here is A, I jump into the game of Upland. I click on my little beautiful early bird. Oh, I haven't showed this off yet. Here's my early bird block explorer, and that is for buying my ticket early. One of the first 75 people to buy their ticket to Genesis Live 2024. I had to go in person. I had to buy my ticket early. I got a little bit of discount for buying an early ticket, which is nice. And then I got an extra block explorer. So this guy right here. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. So I take a look. I see that, and I'm coming down. I'm scrolling down. Oh, look at that. Look at that beautiful Santa Claus. He's crazy. That's the ugly sweater contest winner from D-Tech. There's only a handful, I think 25 of those out in existence. I really love mine. Here we go. And there we are. Oh, we're almost there. We're almost there. Oh, there we are. 7,169 sparklet. There's a lot of people with a lot larger sparklet piles than this. That's no question at all. But it looks big. It looks a lot bigger than that original pile we had. That original pile we were sitting on for, my 7.16, I think, sparklet, a spark as well as sitting on 2 days ago. And now I have this extra 0.009 spark. I don't know where it came from, or 9 sparklet. I think they rounded up and they said, oh, we're going to give you a benefit of the doubt. Here's 9 sparklet. So instead of saying, 16 or 0.16 again for 160 sparklet, they said, oh, you know what, 169, call it a day. And I'll take it. I'll take that 9/10 of 9/10 of a hundredth of the spark. Yeah, because previously the lowest denomination was 0.01 spark. They kind of played fun with that last digit, it looks like, and I'll take that 7169 upwind. I don't know what you're doing there, but 7169. That's my sparklet. That's what I have. That's where I'm going to start. We are going to have the ability to stake this at the same kind of utility. The same as utility. The price to build a structure has not gone up. When we have this turned back on, we're going to see it display in Spark. Just keep it in mind that Sparklet is a smaller denomination of Spark. That 1,000-to-1 ratio does apply. Yes, it's going to look like I'm putting a ton of sparklet to build something when the number on Spark is I've got 5,200. That was my earlier example. 5,200 to build a apartment building, which I just started one, or I apologize, was about to start one, which we don't have Spark staking right now. 5,200 Spark to build it, even though I would still be looking at a sparklet, sparklet hours as opposed to spark hours. Sparklet hours, 5.2 million, being listed there. So looking forward to it, to actually being able to play with my sparklet, but that'll be coming in the next couple of days. And it is something well worth the wait. Yes, a trifecta BE Swarley. She's got that 3 years in a row. You show up 3 years, you get the present. And those who didn't show up that first year for the first live Genesis event, myself included, they don't ever get that. They don't ever get upwind to say, oh, thank you for keep coming every year. Second year, first year I came, second year I came, but I missed that prior year, that pre-year, that year that I went to NFT NYC the week after, instead. And yeah, I should have went to both, I guess. But that is one of those very very well learned lessons. Always be at Genesis Live, and that's one I'm not going to forget. What else do we have? Yeah, there's still going to be sparklet sales. Yes, we expect there to be, and Upwind did say they will be until they are suspended or changed. And again, if we see on the market side, if we see the market start floating around and we start seeing new values, no speculation, we see new values for sparklet. We're either up or down from where Upwind had previously been saying the price. We could see Upwind reflect that price when they have their in-game sales of Sparklet in the future. So that is definitely a possibility. We could see that happen. We'll have to watch out. And it's also an opportunity for Upwind to potentially sell different denominations, because Spark was one thing. Sparklet has 1/10 of a denomination further, or the ability to go a little further as far as breaking up a spark into a smaller degree, so we could see future sales in smaller denominations as a possibility. No guarantee that that will happen. But let's take a look at the one other piece here. And we have to do this every Tuesday in a season, and that is taking a look at the cosmetic drops. Check out the drops. Stay tuned for some rad cosmetics we've got planned for this season. Yeah, we've got a few more weeks left of Genesis Week after this one. Keep in mind that Genesis Week, was the start of the season. Genesis season is an important part where we celebrate new things coming in the game of Upwind. We celebrate that for an entire month and a half. That is Genesis season, and I think we are actually celebrating that season pretty well right now. The sparklet transition, it is great that has happened during Genesis season. The first ever consumables in the game of Upwind, not just consumables for racing, but first ever, real consumable assets. That happening right around Genesis, because keep in mind, it technically, we could say that the burnables, we'll call those burnables. Those potions were technically a burnable to get a reward. Now we're talking about consumables. You hit consume, you have a direct effect as you go and do an event in the game of Upwind. And those consumables, that's going to be something that we're going to see more growth of in racing and elsewhere. And what else do we have for Genesis? I don't know. I don't know what else we're going to have for a surprise here in the immediate future. But again, we've got a couple weeks left. It is a time when Upwind does bring new things in the game of Upwind. If you look back at Genesis Week, there's been a lot of promises. There's been new layer 2 integrations that are working in different ways. We did have the first monument-based experience, which is a different experience than any other layer 2 experience. It kind of is built on top of layer 1. It is built with a 3D environment. It is built with spectating inside of a environment in addition to an event inside of an environment, or a gamification inside of an environment. So with Track Hero, that was a first. It was a first in the way that it came to the game, and it was also first, hopefully, meaning we'll have more of these experiences coming up in the not so distant future, knowing that we already have these additional monuments that exist. They are in the hands, and they are owned by Upwind. There may be ways where people will win them. There may be ways that they're sold. Who knows? We'll have to see how they get them going out, but we'd expect a similar treatment. We expect that those monuments, when they go out, are going to have these gamified experiences and 3D space and different layers of utility that other assets and other structures don't have in the game of Upwind. We'll see those happen here. What happens after 69? I don't know. Agency. I think after that 69, I roll over until 70, but we'll see how that works here as I get some more sparklet, because again, I'm looking forward to more and more sparklet, more. I like it. I'm looking forward to it. And then otherwise, one other thing that we are looking at and looking forward to today, let's do it. The cosmetic drops. Bigger. Make it bigger. Well, look at that. There's our pass. We've already burnt them. Here's the blocks for Skyline. Ooh, that's pretty. And then we have a Silver Streak overlay, which is the plane. Oh, there it goes. And there's the Blue Thunders plane. Ooh, there it goes. Let's take a look at those two in the game of Upwind. And obviously, there's our badge. That badge, you should already have it. You should already have it if you had burned in previous week. I always say this every week. Technically speaking, you could have burnt yesterday and had the rest of the season. Why would you do that? Burn the beginning of the month. Celebrate every cosmetic along the way. Oh, it's great. I got another one. Oh, it's great. I got another one. If you burn it, it's the same cost. It's less utility. You're getting less back for it. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at these overlays. Boom. Okay. Let's take a look at some planes. Here's one. Out. And then it's going to come back. Ooh, there it goes. Hovers. Swoops out. Comes back. All right. 3 cycles is enough. There's our blue. Same thing. There it goes. Sits there. Animation exactly the same. Kind of fun because as your block explorer is floating around in Upland, you're going to have a second where there's nothing there, and all of a sudden, poof, there's something there. There's an overlay. There's an animated overlay sitting over top of your block explorer, and then after a couple seconds, it's gone again. Then it's going to return. It will return. It will be back. And then we'll go take a look at one more thing. Let's do it. Or one more thing is going to go look at our background. Explorer background. It should be down here. There it is. Sky Whisper, Genesis 2024. And again, this idea is Sky Whisper. Let's go take a look. We talked about Sparklet gives you wings. Sparklet gives you wings. Obviously, a big part of the theme of Genesis season 2024. It was the theme of Genesis Live 2024. So, yeah, why not? Why not? We're in space. There's my Block Explorer, nice space, up in the clouds. There's my Block Explorer that I earned from the early bird advantage, the early bird Block Explorer for Genesis Live 2024. And here's my little blue plane flying over top. I'm going to confirm all those things. Oh, no. Oh, no. Try again. No, there it is. There it is. Where's my overlay? One more time. Let's get our overlay back on. There we go. Save. Please work this time. Yes, please, please, please. Oh no, it's wrong. I swear it's not to pick on Upland, but it's not working. Well, let's see if we can make our silver plane work. And if we can't, let's make sure Upland fixes it, because I want to use that overlay. Oh no, it's not working. Well, we'll have to let Upland fix that tomorrow, because they'll be back then. And one more thing, obviously, along the way. We are looking forward to the transition over the next 24 hours. Keep in mind, we're going to continue to have an opportunity to see Sparklet come to life. We have a little more time to wait for things to get normalized with Spark staking. That's okay. Well, I'll give it to Upland. I'll give them the time. But do be prepared as the Spark logins come back, that you are going to have to come back and log in the resumption of the Spark login or some part of the day tomorrow. So keep your eyes out and watch out for that, depending on where you are in the world. And let's keep this going as far as this excitement about Sparklet, because we got a couple months to get there. There's going to be some things that, there's going to be a point and people will be like, oh my gosh, why is it not here yet? Oh my gosh, it's later than I thought it was going to be. It's going to be something that is a big focal point over the next couple months. The Spark listing is going to be an opportunity, like I mentioned, or like I keep saying, it's going to be opportunity potentially for a lot of people to take the value that they see in Upland, or they want to see in Upland, and work upon it. If you see Sparklet as something that you see a lot of value in, you're looking forward to the future of Upland, well, you might go ahead and try to exercise that opinion where you want to increase your Sparklet holdings. Go ahead and increase those Sparklet holdings, whether that is changing some of your crypto holdings, or that is going ahead and purchasing for USD. Whatever you're going to do, you can increase your Sparklet. This is going to be an opportunity, maybe a rare opportunity, may not be, maybe a rare opportunity where no speculation on pricing, but it's a rare opportunity where one way or the other, prices are going to be what they're going to be. People are going to purchase if they want to purchase. Other people are going to want to sell, and there's going to be a glut of that selling potentially, and there's going to be opportunities for people picking up Sparklet to pick it up at that time. Just thoughts, no speculation, no idea necessarily what will or will not happen. But what I do want to keep our eyes on as well. This is a period of time as we head towards this period where Upland is doing these updates, where we might have a limited amount of updates, a little bit of surprises along the way. Obviously, on the backside, we'll resume the Upland surprises, all the time. The idea that we're still in Genesis season, we may see some surprises or some new features and functionality. But of course, Paris is going to be a large city for people to keep their eyes on. We may have a tie-in with the Olympics this year. That's not necessarily mean an official partnership, though Upland definitely has the clout, definitely has the pull to potentially pull that type of partnership. We have seen some pretty major partnerships in the past. NFLPA, FIFA is a huge organization, so the FIFA partnership. So there is that small potential of official, but more than likely, Upland's going to celebrate the Olympic Games like they did 3 years ago by doing, block explorers and maybe some gamified challenges, or I don't know. We'll have to see what Upland ends up coming up with. But for tonight, I'm going to say it. Thank you so much for being here. Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. PT. We get together. We look at what is in the game of Upland, go over some announcements you may or may not have seen, and have a little bit of we'll call it speculation, but we're going to call it consideration of what things mean in context along the way. And of course, I do want to keep our keep the idea out that I'm going to continue to work with some of these post Genesis week interviews. The reason why I'm working on these, as hard as I am, and chasing these down is these are people got a chance to talk with in Genesis week, or these projects get to work with a little bit at Genesis week. Gives an opportunity to see a different perspective in the game of Upland, but also these are all projects that, because of Genesis week, the run up to and obviously things follow Genesis week, have some big changes along the way. And with those big changes, it's great to see them. It's great to have visibility. And for some of them, it might be their first entree. It might be the first thing that I'm putting out for people to get into and be part of. So I'm looking forward to and excited about these interviews. I really hope you are as well. So thank you so much for being here tonight. As always, if you're in the Upland Discord in the Upland Cafe, listening live on voice, I always end things by throwing it back to the tradition here. The floor is yours. Feel free to unmute your mics.